Hello, welcome to Network. My name is Pamela Lezondi with your technology and social media news. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Today I'm in Howick, one of the towns that was looted and a lot of businesses torched in 2021 in July. It's been exactly 1 year since that happened. One of the businesses is actually behind me, and you can see that it still hasn't been properly fixed since that incident a year ago. This week, our Twitter poll is asking you if you think South Africa has the expertise to spot and stop conversations on social media as they are galvanizing people to do this. As we've heard, that a lot of it was organized on social media. Results of that are coming up later in the program. Firstly, here's what's coming up in this program. We find out about what's happening in the gaming industry in South Africa as we're hearing about a lot of growth that's happening in the space. We also have details on how funding is happening in the startup space. And in our conversation, we chat about car technology. Research done by Newzoo and CarryFirst says that South Africa's gaming industry is set to grow immensely. It already is the largest gaming industry in the whole of the African continent. Let's find out about the rise of this industry. In a space of about 6 years, the number of gamers in Africa more than doubled. That's according to a study by Newzoo and CarryFirst. The continent now has an estimated 186 million people playing video games. It's up from 77 million in 2015. Japi Mabuza, who's now won Red Bull Hits the Streets twice, says he had very little exposure to gaming when he was growing up in the township of Alexandra, outside Johannesburg.
I actually think that people from Ekasi or generally was just be more drawn into this, because how I started as a kid, like I was 6 and my dad came and he just took me to the local arcade scene, but then he didn't take me to play Street Fighter. He took me to play Snow Bros. Street Fighter was next to it, so like the following day I went there by myself and I found Street Fighter there, and I always wanted to try the game, but I was too afraid of people beating me, so I'd always used to go there when there's nobody there and start practicing by myself. And then once I got good enough and got confident, now I started like having this hunger of playing people. So I started challenging anybody, even if I'd lose, but I'd still challenge people.
According to Newzoo and CarryFirst research, South Africa has the biggest number of gamers by far in Africa. This has led to the country being important for those who produce gaming tech.
Yeah, so for me, South Africa and Africa is obviously very important to us. We drive the business here in Africa. We are starting to see, we work very closely in a project called the First Time Buyer Project, where we are trying to increase the PC penetration rate both in South Africa and the rest of the continent. So we work very closely with our ecosystem partners to get devices into the hands of students and the youth. Because our PC penetration rate in South Africa is far lower than the rest of the world. And that's what we're working to do, to drive and get those devices into the hands of the students so we can become content creators rather than just being content consumers.
Intel is one of the tech companies that have released a number of gaming products this year. They say despite Africa being the first mobile-first continent, PCs are still necessary, especially in gaming.
So Africa is definitely a mobile-first environment. People sometimes have 2 smartphones and don't have a PC. We recognized this in about 2015 when Intel went across Africa and we invested in what we call the Africa First Time Buyer Program. We did a lot of research and we were concerned that the PC is not desirable in the continent, like you said, but actually it was. People want to have a PC, but they didn't have the reach or accessibility to the PC. And in those investments that we've made in the First Time Buyer Program, we have literally doubled the total available market.
Research suggests that the majority of Africans play their games on mobile devices. This is something those launching various types of mobile devices have to consider. New mobile phone maker Honor says they've thought long and hard about what could appeal to the rising number of local social gamers.
We want to provide the best function and configuration At the same time, with Google system and with 5G. So this product fully match the requirement of high-end user.
This is something Chinese rivals Oppo say they consider too.
So we're very strategically growing the brand and not trying to flood the market with everything Oppo has to offer globally, but rather introducing the brand to consumers, like I say, in a very laser focused and strategic way. So I think that, everybody out there, whether you're a pro gamer, a social gamer, whether you're a content creator or just, average Joe or Jane that just wants a solid quality, robust built device that's going to be able to cater to whatever requirements, whether you're a PUBG player or a Candy Crush player, you still want the device to be able to, last well through a full day's usage.
In Africa, however, there are still issues with internet connectivity and the cost to play video games.
I think the big problem comes to our infrastructure, because then, like for example, Alex doesn't have fiber. If I want to play the best connection, I always go to Goliath Gaming to play on their fiber.
While millions are being spent by consumers on video games, local games creators are also developing content that will appeal to players here in Africa. As you know, we continue to find those tech companies that are making a difference and that are helping, especially with solutions that are needed in South Africa. Here's our Startup Corner.
My name is Teach Kausio. I am the creator and founder of Receptor, a digital resist platform. There's basically two problems that I found in the industry. One is a lot of people, when they go to buy from the shops, they get the receipt and most of them throw it away before they even, leave the exit of the store. So one problem that I was thinking of solving is going paperless. So instead of, the customer getting a receipt, that they're never really going to use, or some of them end up keeping up piles of receipts at their homes. So why not, they can just capture those receipts, scan them, and then they have a digital receipt at their disposal, which they can easily access. So that's the first problem. The second one is the existence of multiple loyalty rewards. So each time that I go to shop, say at, my local Pick and Pay, Checkers, they all have, various loyalty rewards that they're running. And as a user, you can end up having, 10 different loyalty cards, and it can be difficult to keep track of. So, the idea behind this is, if, you're keeping track of, what customers are buying and stuff, you can easily build up, using technology, like what users buy, and you can build up a loyalty reward system from that data. The application is available for both iOS and Android. It is there on the App Store. If you just search Receptor, you'll be able to, it'll come up, with the tagline digital receipts. So basically you download the app and you sign up. It's a very quick sign up process. It just requires your email and password. You can also use social login, so you can sign in via your Apple or Google account, which makes it easier. That way it then creates an account in the backend. And from there, you have access to the app, so you can then click to capture a receipt. All you need is just a receipt or even a screenshot, if you have a screenshot on your phone. So there are two options. You can either, take a picture of the receipt, or you can, pick from a gallery. If you already have old receipts, perhaps, you can do that. So when you capture the receipt, it will then upload the receipt to the servers. And then, you will then have your digital copy of the receipt on your app.
As it's been a year since what was called an insurrection that led to the widespread looting that we saw in July 2021, some of the businesses like the ones behind me in Howick have still not been fixed yet. Well, with that, let's find out about some of the funding that is helping startup companies and where some startups go for that funding. Maybe some funds can help structures like this as well.
Organizing a hackathon for the first time at the Southern Africa Telecommunications and Applications Conference. That's called SACNAC. right? Which is generally a conference hosted by Telkom, which culminates in researchers across different universities sharing their research and basically the top trends in ICT. So the reason we are part of it this year is that we want to be able to push the boundaries a little bit to show that we can commercialize the research that comes out of universities, but also attract university students broadly to tackle some of the most difficult problems in cybersecurity.
The Yabasadi in 4R program is an initiative by the JP Morgan Foundation and Simologong Digital Innovation Precinct to bring women closer to the 4R agenda. Women are entrepreneurs by far, but their businesses do not scale as well as the men's businesses do. They are also not well represented in the ICT space. This program aims to train women in 4R technologies like machine learning and artificial intelligence and others, but also give them business training. They also receive mentorship and coaching, all with the idea of supporting that they build strong business models that will allow their businesses to scale, on top of the minimum viable products that they will exit the program with, which will support their businesses to scale for the future.
We're absolutely targeting young people on campuses, whether it's university campuses, civic colleges, etc. We're looking for young people with fresh and creative ideas that are able to especially solve this team up together, whether they've got engineering skills, some of them are accountants, some of them are more creative, to team up and solve the challenge around cybersecurity in the form of digital identity theft as well as business email compromise.
This Youth Month, Chocolate Tribe in partnership with Netflix have come together to stage a groundbreaking event called Avijozi. Avijozi stands for Animation Visual Effects in Jozi. What we aim to do with this initiative is to get young people excited, elevated and ignited by the VFX and animation industry, an industry that's growing in leaps and bounds. We will be talking about careers in animation and visual effects. We will be showcasing BTS's behind the scenes, panel discussions, screening.
It's definitely a great launching platform for young entrepreneurs, especially because a lot of entrepreneurs they're creative, but they don't necessarily know which problems to solve. And so this provides a very great space for them to tackle a relevant problem, not just to telecom, but across different industries. And so it's a really great platform for them to solve a great idea and get access to seed capital, soft funding that they would not ordinarily have had access to.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram have shifted from Howick to the greater Edendale Mall in Pietermaritzburg, which was also torched and looted a year ago. Work to repair it is currently underway. After the break, we'll move over to a conversation about car technology. Stay with us. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Now, there's a lot of new tech disruption that's going on in the automotive space. And while new tech is good because it makes our lives easier, it can also cause a distraction in how some people use it. And you might find that they stop focusing on the road and start focusing on the tech itself. And this has led to some calling for regulation in the automotive space, especially in how technology is used. But as I've said earlier, it can be a good thing. For a number of years now, a couple of companies have been developing driverless technology for various vehicles. Now, to tell us about new car tech is Stefan Haasbroek, who's the marketing manager at Nissan South Africa. Hello, and thank you very much for being a part of our network, Stefan. But maybe if you can start by telling us about this driverless technology that we've been hearing about for a number of years. We've also heard that it's been killing some people in the United States of America in the testing phase, especially. How soon are we likely going to see this in South Africa?
OEMs, automotive original equipment manufacturers, are competing to try and reach the different levels of autonomous drive. We've seen some announcements by OEMs recently touching on the possibility of even driverless cars and reaching level 5 of AI. But we need to be cautious as well. I guess it's a very unnerving experience if you imagine getting into a car without a driver. So I guess it is shaping the direction. It is shaping how engineers think about mobility in the future. But at a measured pace. It's not as if it's just going to explode and we're going to lose all drivers.
Stefan, we also hear about the high accident rate on South Africa's roads. Do you think new car technology can assist in reducing this?
Nissan Intelligent Mobility is a suite of technologies that we apply to different vehicles. It includes safety aspects, so we define different zones around the vehicle. And technology like radars, cameras, picks up threats around the vehicle and allows the driver, supports the driver in different ways. There's forward collision warning. The Navara is, for example, equipped with forward emergency braking as well. So, for example, you'll be driving on the highway, there'll be a vehicle in front of you that's moving slower. Maybe you have your eyes off the road for that second, not working with the radio or whatever. The vehicle will give you a warning. And then if you do not react to the warning, the vehicle will actually go as far as braking on your behalf. So, but that's not all that NIM is. There's around view monitors. We use it when we do 4x4 off-roading. You can literally have a bird's eye view of your vehicle, front, back, right, left, and it's all enabled by cameras around the vehicle.
With car technology getting smarter, Stefan, do you think there's still a need for advanced driving lessons and for people to go for this, or do you think that cars are probably that much more advanced for us to not need this at all?
Technology allows us to with confidence, take different steps and progress in terms of technology. But the suite is really to provide the ultimate support for the customer. And autonomous drive, of course, level 5 autonomous drive is where the world is going. So these are the building blocks that we deploy, test in the market, prove the reliability and the capability, and we're progressing on that journey.
With driverless cars, we heard that a number of companies were working on this technology, and even cars, or rather companies that are not in the car manufacturing space, like Google, for example, they also entered this space. Is competition big in the car technology space?
Of course, it's the market leaders, Toyota, it's the Ford Ranger, and there's some new competitors that are coming on the scene with compelling offerings. So we can never underestimate the competitors. You can never become lax about it. You always have to look at the competitors and understand that they have very good products. So we need to always be thinking ahead and with the customer at the center of it. We are some of the leaders in global technology. We were first to introduce a fully built up electric vehicle where the platform is designed for the electric vehicle, where it's not an adapted vehicle. And globally, it's a race.
All right, thank you very much for being a part of our network, Stefan. Stefan Haasbroek there is the marketing manager at Nissan South Africa. And with that, let's take a quick break. It's SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Welcome back. We've now shifted from Howick to the Greater Edendale Mall in Pietermaritzburg, another mall that was looted a year ago. And as you can see, parts of it have not been fixed just yet, and it still hasn't opened since then. With that, here's what else took place in the tech space in the rest of the world.
French luxury brand Yves Saint Laurent demonstrated what they say is a first of its kind in-store experience that uses brain scanning technology to help shoppers choose the perfect perfume based on their emotional response.
It measures emotions. You have a questionnaire and it measures emotions when you smell different fragrance accords, and it tells you what makes you happy, stressed, confident. There are different criteria, and you see the curves that are being measured at the time where this lady is smelling right now. now, and the machine is measuring what this particular accord is triggering as emotions for her.
The experience was created in partnership with US-based bioinformatics company Automotive that develops electroencephalography technology to advance understanding of the human brain. And now in the UK. Holograms are helping train doctors at one of the UK's most prestigious universities, replacing the actors who traditionally put student medics through their paces by pretending to be poorly.
We're taking simulation training for healthcare professionals to the next level. What we aim to do with simulation training is to improve the treatment of a clinician, and so if the clinician is giving inappropriate treatment, then the trainer will intervene so that the patient treatment is improved and the learner learns how to improve treatment.
The first module features a hologram patient with asthma, followed by anaphylaxis, pulmonary embolism, and pneumonia. Further modules in cardiology and neurology are in development. And now in France. The technology that keeps autonomous cars on the road has moved onto the sidewalk to navigate through the crowds for those with no or limited sight. Bibbed.ai have incorporated the same artificial intelligence into a shoulder-mounted smart harness worn around the neck that directs the wearer around any obstacles in their way.
Là, j'entends un son d'obstacle qui devient de plus en plus fort. Ok, là, je sais que je suis assez proche. Et je sais qu'il n'y a rien à gauche, donc je continue à avancer.
More than 100 beta testers have helped develop the device, which goes on sale in September.
As we've been telling you throughout this program, it's been a year since the unrest that took place here in KwaZulu-Natal and in parts of Gauteng, and that unrest left a lot of places destroyed, like the Edendale Mall behind me, which has still not been fixed just yet, but work is under construction. And reports say that social media played a great role in organizing what happened a year ago. So this week, our social media poll is asking you if you think South Africa has expertise to spot this on social media and stop it from happening ever again. Now, 14% of you say yes, South Africa does have expertise, and an overwhelming 71% says no, South Africa does not have these expertise, and 14% of you say you're not really sure. And that's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network. Now, that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's newsnetwork at sabc.co.za on email. From me, Siphumelele Zondi, and the rest of the team in Howick. Let's hope we never see some of those scenes that we saw exactly a year ago, which were scenes of destruction and looting. From us, have a great one. Bye-bye.